Hello Marvel Heroes fans, today is all about Star-Lord and a lot of you have requested me to do a video on him, and I'm more than happy to help you guys out on one of my favorite heroes in this game as well as in the movies. Can't say the comic book because I haven't really read the comic book before watching the movie. And my wife Singcup happens to be a big huge fan of Rocket Raccoon, so both of us used to have a great time leveling together. She went on Prestige Red, I went on Green, and together we have Drax, Gamora, and her Groot as well. So we formed the whole entire team of the Guardian of the Galaxy. Extremely fun when we have this whole entourage of heroes or characters moving around the Midtown Manhattan and so on, to just like the movie, man. This is really cool. So yeah, I mean, for those who are playing together with your friend or partner, just team up like this. It's great stuff, really fun. Now, before I go on I'm going to bring you to Cosmic Petrol just to show you how Star-Lord is playing. And in fact, I must say that I'm pretty pleased with his overall damage output. It's still some tuning to be done, but he's getting really close to my top tier heroes and that is really important because I want a hero that is performing at that tier, and he by and large does that, so I'm really happy about Star-Lord. And when I first leveled Star-Lord twice, when Star-Lord was first launched, the elemental gun was pretty bad, I would say. The design was just not ready for prime time, but I think they pushed it out for the movie. So I leveled twice with the Cosmic Outlaw as well as Starship Commander. So when one of you, or I think at least a couple of you, asked me to do an elemental build, I'm more than happy to do it for you because I'm really curious about how the redesigned elemental gun is. And guess what? I really have a blast on it. And just before I head off to Midtown Manhattan Cosmic version, some of my power just want to talk you through so that you know what I'm doing later on. Basically, I use three elements: the fire, the earth, as well as the air. I can talk a little bit later with all the numbers to back me up. I have this, I use barrage instead of shoot. Again, I have some numbers to show you later on. And I think blast is something that we have to use for elemental build. I use this one incendiary cluster bomb to have a DOT layer, damage over time layer, as well as the vulnerability debuff for any starship power. So this is very good for me. I have the signature here that is on cooldown 25 seconds. I also hotbar dance to a starship uplink to reset the counter for this one to strike back to back. Alright, so that is all I have, and enough talking, now is action. Okay, Cosmic Petrol, which is the okay, let me just take away this guy. 6 bosses, Sinister 6. This is not an easy wave, I must say. But it's alright, I have Rocket Raccoon with me, so Rocket will be fine. Alright, so you can see the rotation I'm running, and I have to get away sometimes, making sure that I won't get into all this trouble up front. Just hold the shift key when I need to, and this guy Venom is coming to me. Alright, so just need to get away. Some of these are very important to just something is keep hurting me. I don't know what it is. This game can be quite confusing sometimes. Signature, go to the other side, find a nice angle, and ammo, fire ammo, blast, and whatever blast, then go into earth. No, that was air. Okay, the earth. Yeah, sometimes I try to stay alive while I'm doing all this rotation. Is not easy. So a lot of time I just depending on my feel, like when to refill ammo. I wish there's some better way to do it, but I guess I used to think. I mean, for those of you who complain that Punisher is sort of like annoying to do ammo reload, I mean, try to play Star-Lord when you have so many ammo to keep reloading in every 4 seconds around there. That is really not an easy task. And all this while you're trying to stay alive because anything else here can really kill you. I mean, my Star-Lord is having 30,000 health, right? But that could be quite. It can melt really fast in seconds. If I don't pay attention, Star-Lord will be dead. So yeah, that is a thing about Star-Lord. He's definitely a glass. Not quite sure about cannon. somewhat like a cannon, but definitely is very fragile. Alright, so that is one wave. Alright, this is Cosmic Patrol and it's the Wizard Wave. Let's see what we have. So again, it's about the signature and get the ammo going and just keep running the thing, and after a while you sort of like get the feel of it, what you're going to do, and you have to really pay attention to what's out there as well, because this wave is really hard for Star-Lord. If you're trying to pay too much attention onto your rotation, there's a very high chance you end up dead, sometimes I do. So have to strike a balance somewhere, and just pay attention to what's out there, find another angle, be patient, and that's about it. Star-Lord can be quite fun with all these rotations and so on, and have to pay attention to what the mobs are doing here as well. So these are not really very nice place to be at. Here is also not nice. It's maybe somewhere up north here. Wow, there's a lot of things that go on. Alright. So, and here's a nice range as well. So signature ammo and the blast, and then ammo, blast. Sometimes with all this pointer, I can't really see what's out there as well. I can't really see what the cooldown. Compass pointer sometimes can be quite obstructive. Alright, so I'm just shooting Juggernaut from that distance. Make sure I get the ammo going. 4, 3. Alright, and I've got my Sharecraft stun, which is great. So that's Living Laser. Who else is there? Let me try to save someone if I can. Alright, come on, Deku. Up. Oh, he has released. Not sure. So, is there another boss somewhere? Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's done. Let me just rest this guy. So yeah, I mean that's going again. Yeah, so that is the boss wave in Cosmic Patrol. Alright, Sentinel wave, which is a kind of nice wave to demonstrate the rotation, certainly. Let me try to get my bearing. Again, I hold the shift key, but I just keep walking, huh? I don't know whether you guys have like come across that or not. It's very strange. I'm holding my shift key and it's supposed to stay, but it just keep moving. Maybe I don't hold it hard enough here. Okay, where is the main boss? Okay, so over here. So yeah, just make sure that my rotation is solid. Now it's air, earth, alright. Fire. Whoa, what happened? Now I can't really see. You see the pointer here sort of like disrupt the view, my cooldown and so on. So well, I just have to go by feel then. Alright. So keep making sure that the ammo is on, and the try to stay alive as well. The air. Let me just go somewhere I can see. Alright, fire, air, earth. Okay, fire again. Make sure I get enough stacks before I explode it. Go air, load it up front, ground, earth, doesn't really matter when I go into fire. Alright, air, that's nice, earth. Fire. And I don't think I need to get a chance to do my back-to-back signature. So yeah, that is the Sentinel wave with Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon somewhere. Where is Rocket Raccoon? Yeah, I think it's one of these guys here. I don't know, man. Just too many of them going around. Alright, 4 bosses, and this is the Curse and Medicath wave, one of the wave that could be quite dangerous for Star-Lord. So I have to make sure that I'm holding my shift key somewhere, not getting too close. I think now I'm getting a little bit too close. And yeah, come on, man. It's so hard to control the range guy here. Okay, I think I'm get somewhere out. Yep. Okay, back to back signature. And there's a Ultron Sentry there, so have to be extra careful. Okay, no worries. I'm holding my shift key, but somehow I just keep moving. I don't know why. It's so strange. Okay, rotation time. Just stay there. Whoa, that was fast, man. I think some superhero is around.
Sorry, that was
Probably Rocket Raccoon. Where is Rocket, by the way? I see Drax, I see everybody, but hey, where are you? Where's the little guy? Okay, so yeah, my wife is busy looting. No wonder I'm in so much danger. So yeah, that's fun time, Star-Lord. Okay, Star-Lord versus Man-Ape. Okay, Scarlet Witch is already there, or the male version of it, and I can just run my rotation again. This is really nice. Alright, man, it's rotation time, baby. Alright, this is very exciting. Okay, come to this side. Oh man, I hold the shift key, just keep moving. Must be some new bug, maybe. Ooh, let me get out. Don't want to get smashed by Man-Ape. Whoa, that is. Huh. Alright, keep the rotation going, and that's it. Man-Ape is down. Let me count the number of turret. 1, 2. Yeah, I always tease my wife that she's not dropping enough turret somewhere. I'm sure she has. Just teasing her. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed some of the clips I've shown you for the Star-Lord on Cosmic Patrol. I really wanted to share with you that because that is actually pretty challenging for Star-Lord, having to pay attention to the rotation and as well as staying alive. I have two costumes for the two fixes, defensive and offensive. So the health costume, as you can see here, give me a close to 30,000 health. If I switch to another one, it's about 24,000, and I would not be comfortable tackling Cosmic Patrol with this sort of gear. It's alright for Cosmic Terminal, but not for Cosmic Patrol. Alright? And yeah, I mean, the question really about this about Star-Lord is that why should we be going elemental or should we be going the cosmic outlaw? All right, so I'll show you some numbers later on to support my thinking behind it. I think elemental would probably have a better potential. If you are to do the cosmic outlaw, probably you have to do the empty the eclipse as well as the close quarter, which is here. It is very strange because first of all, plain Star-Lord is very hard to fit all the power into one hotbar. So if you would like to do a close quarters, you probably need to map this to one of the keys, either left or right, meaning that because you have to close the distance before you can strike it. Otherwise, you keep hitting air, which is my problem. I usually map my right key to movement, so I don't really have an option there. But I would imagine if I was to play mix melee and range, I would map like the empty eclipse here and the close quarter here. Now it works as well. It works. It has its own fun and complexity with a little bit of like the cryo granite just to freeze the mobs and do the stuff that you do. That is fine. It is a very strong power as well. Empty the eclipse. But like I said in the beginning of this video, that I've been leveling Star-Lord twice with this kind of like setting, so I would like to try something different. Now the beautiful thing about elemental gun is that you have zero spirit issue. You can see in the video clips, so long as you pay attention when to reload the ammo, and so long as you actually have sufficient types of ammo to support your build, you could get away with very little spirit span, and that's wonderful. Why is it wonderful? Because plain Star-Lord would require to run quite a fair bit, and the running is it's very nice. It's very smooth and fast, but then it requires quite a fair bit of spirit. If you keep running in the Cosmic Patrol environment, and you realize that you may not have enough sufficient spirit to do other things, and you keep having to eat the med kit for the spirit return, which is fine. I mean, we do it for all the heroes, but because Star-Lord is pretty fragile as well, you end up having med kit on both the health and the spirit, and they have to come at the same time. So a little bit challenging. All right. So I enjoy elemental a lot, and I've got the whole footnote there on what to say. He is a glass cannon in some sense. It requires you to move for quite a fair bit, but I managed to get him sorted on the health side. I'll share with you how later on the last bit of the video, talking about build and the Omega points as well. All right. I mean, there are many reasons why I should do elemental. I don't think there are any hero in this game, all 48 of them. None of the hero play like Star-Lord if you go the elemental gun way, because it is very interactive. The whole like reloading, potentially 4 different type of elements in it, and using a gun, different type of gun to augment all this. It become a very the combination is just mind-boggling on what it does, because you could have elemental shot, you can have elemental barrage as well as elemental blast. Each one of them take on a slightly different kind of damage, augmented on top depending on what type of ammo you're using. So that is very, very unique to Star-Lord, very unique to Marvel heroes today, because there aren't any hero today that kind of like do the kind of combination that we are seeing here. So I strongly suggest just try out if you're playing Star-Lord on elemental. Just go elemental, something very unique. All right. And and one thing we like about elemental is that the whole elemental is very very situational, especially when you are facing the cosmic terminal, or some solo kind of gameplay, because for raid and for cosmic patrol, sometimes you have no choice just to run all the types of ammo, because you just you run out of ammo, right? But in another situation whereby, like for instance, I enjoy using the ground earth one, which does like a shock wave that knock the enemy up in the air. So it is a very nice stun that carry on that. And the fire is very nice, like area damage, as well as do a little bit of damage over time as well. So and the water is nice as well, because it freezes everything in front of it, slow in front of it as well. And the air works in a way that if you use the barrage, it actually increases the attack speed by quite a lot. So suddenly your cycle of the air become very short. So but it's good because it does count, in its own way. It's really good. So I enjoy Star-Lord because you got to think which type of ammo to put in, at least which one to pick to play. So yeah, I mean that is really, really fun, something that is really different from other heroes that I have. And so now when it comes to elemental build, there are a couple of decisions you have to make. First of all, you have 3 types of power: elemental shot, elemental barrage, and elemental blast. For elemental shot, it is more economic in terms of the ammo. All right, so you do not need to have that many type of ammo to support elemental shot build, but you suffer in damage per second, the DPS, so you have to compensate with other stuff like maybe a strive or some other things over here. All right, probably a strive or maybe some Groot kind of like cooldown kind of power. So I've tried it. I can't close the DPS gap between that and the elemental build I'm having right now. So I dropped the elemental shot. But if you are leveling your hero, since you can reset anytime, those health regen and spirit regen could be useful if you do a hybrid between the more intensive spirit kind of spending kind of build. So yeah, but I can't get the DPS up as high as the build that I am right now. All right, so barrage is the one to go. It consumes a lot of ammo. It go out really fast, as you can see in the clip, but it has really nice things happening. All right, so if it's air, it increases the attack speed. So the air rotation actually is very short, because you have to it actually burn really fast. All right, and the earth one of it, earth has nothing special to it, because I have no area damage. The fire will actually ignite the target. It gives a burn stack to it, and it's stacked up to 5 times. So the damage is very tiny, but the big payoff is on the the blast, because when you use fire, which is the damage over time with the burning, when you do fire, it 30% per each stack of ignition barrage. So if you have 5 stacks, it is already 150% damage on the fire part of it, which is very nice. All right. On the air part of it, air is quite interesting. So for fire, you have to let the damage over time build up first before you apply the blast. So that's ideal. But for air, you have to do it up front, because after you blast it, all your air damage kind of take another 10%. Usually I can do about 10%, maybe a little bit of 20%. But so for air, you have to do upfront blast. So once you switch to air cycle, do the blast upfront, and then all your elemental barrage for the air will become buffed. So that is nice. All right. So there's something to think about for air. For earth, you don't need to think about, because it just hit 3 times in the area. So it's very nice. This is one of those more flexible kind of rotation. For water as well, it is mainly to slow the entire target. Now, the reason why I don't pick water, actually, it doesn't really matter whether you pick water or earth as a crowd control, because one will send a short wave to stun all the enemy into the air. I like short waves because it hits further. And water actually is very nice as well. It kind of like slow and freeze everything around the area, but I don't think it's as far as the short wave. And you don't need both, because first of all, your hotbar cannot sustain that kind of like build, unfortunately. And also, if you look at the ammo that you've seen, I mean, 3 types is enough to get the thing going. You don't need the 4th one. It's sort of like a little bit of a waste. So you just need between this one and this one. Bear in mind that boss cannot be slowed. So when you do a blast on that target, I mean, kind of it's kind of a waste kind of thing. So, but I mean, between these two, I've worked out the calculation. It doesn't really matter from the DPS point of view, even if the slow cannot. It doesn't take effect with the boss, so that's fine. So I happen to pick these 3, but I've got another build. I actually pick 1, 2, and 3, and the DPS wise is pretty similar. Whether you take the water and the earth, it depends on your playstyle. Whether you like a short wave kind of stun or freeze kind of stun. That's all. It's just about the style of it. All right. So, I talk a lot on elemental gun, because I thought because it's really complex. I'm going to show you the mathematics later. So I thought at least I cover on how you play this and what the thinking behind it. All right. From a starship perspective, I wish I could take this one, but this one the DPS is not that high also. So I picked this. I have to pick something from starship, because that applied the vulnerability debuff. So I picked this one with the damage over time layer, signature no-brainer orbital strike, and it encourages you to, one of the unique actually encourage you to do a back-to-back kind of like damage. So it's nice that you do an orbital strike, you gain 5% more damage for 5 seconds, and then after that you reset it using the uplink, and then after that do a strike again to benefit from that 5%. So you buff your signature by another 5%, and then after that you've got another 5%, 5 second added on top of the existing duration. So that's great. So that's good news number 1. But the not so good news is that this uplink here. Okay, so this uplink requires me to do a little bit of hot bar dancing. I don't really like it. It has a 1 minute cooldown, which is also something I don't really like. I mean, I think it should coincide with the 50-second cooldown. That would be ideal. So I can do every 2 signature, I can do back to back. So because otherwise I have to wait until the 3rd one before I do a back to back. It sounds like, oh man, it's kind of, I don't really like how this being designed. If it was up to me to design, if I was Gazillion, I would make it like a passive. All right. So for instance, whenever you crit, you can reset the entire starship for commander. When you crit on orbital strike, you reset, because your crit is about 50%, so 50-60%. So half the time you crit, half the time you don't. And it's great because you don't need to worry about when you press this uplink. Whenever you crit orbital strike, you reset and you do it again. So back to back. then you don't need to do this, but it is not. You have to interact it in a way that, so this one, to me, it is not a 1 minute cooldown, but rather 25 times, yeah, it's more than 1 minute cooldown for me. It's a 1 minute and 15 second cooldown because I want to do a back-to-back. Unfortunate. It is what it is. That's how the game is designed. I wish I could have more point here, but you know, all these things not really helping me. The defensive, defense, the rating and dodge rating. You know, dodge is not really working in this game. Defense, I mean, you can step whatever defense you want. 30,000 health will just melt in seconds, even less. So what's the point? And besides, I need all these other things here as well. All right. So what I'll do is that I'll run you through a very slow motion of the rotation, just to get you. Okay, so what I'll do, hang on, this is the high health one? No, I go for high health one. And I'm going to unsummon my team up just not to get distracted. So what I usually do for a start is that I'll do the the cluster bomb, and then I do a signature. I do uplink, and after that I do a signature again, and the bomb again. So I bomb, signature, uplink, signature, and bomb. So that is my always the beginning kind of like thing. To just get the damage going, so the vulnerability debuff is there. So now it's the fun part about the rotation. So I usually go for the fire first, all right, and then after that I make sure I get 1 second, because it's like the rate is about 5.1, so it's 5.9 now, so it's very high. So I make sure I have 1 second to build the 5 stacks before I do the blast. So I load it, and then 1 second. After that, I do a blast. Blast will basically take it to quite low already. So in that scenario, I could continue, or I could switch to the earth, which is the one that sometimes I miss. So you have to practice how you do the earth is here. The earth, and after that you can do blast anytime it lights up, but then you have to save your blast for the next rotation, which is air. The air is somewhere here like this. All right, so the air, the first thing you need to do is to do a blast so that you buff your air damage. All right, and after that you just keep doing it, and then blast again and run into fire and so on. So to run this rotation, I let the thing go off. So to run the rotation in fast action, I see whether I can do it right or not. So you do a fire, and you blast after 1 second. You try to blast again, then you do an earth, and after that blast, then you hold it there, go air blast up front, and after that go fire. 1 second you blast, then 1 second you blast, then after that go earth, then you blast, then go air blast up front. And after that, go fire. And after that, blast. And hope I can squeeze another one there. So, and after that, continue the ground is fine. Then go air, blast up front. After that, you can blast again. Go air, go fire. Blast after 1 second. Hope you can blast again towards the end. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Just now I missed it. So, basically that is the thing. And then after you are comfortable with all the elemental rotation, you can mix your bomb and the signature there. So maybe I do a fast forward. I do a fast action just to combine the two set of it. So you always start with the bomb, signature, uplink, signature, bomb, then ammo, then shoot. 1 second go. No, I miss it. So now I become a ground. Then after that, air, then up front, go apply the bomb again. Okay, fire, 1 second, go like that. Then after that, go ground. Then whenever do a bomb again, then air, then load it up front, go fire, maybe fire, 1 second. Go, then signature is up, then the bomb is up, then I go with bomb air up front. And ground. Sometimes you get out of rotation. That's fine. Doesn't really matter. So long as anyway, just kind of like mashing there. After that, go air, go there. So yeah, I mean that is the whole thing about the whole rotation. So just practice. After a while, you get really good at it, and it's really fun. Trust me, you'll get the hang of it. So yeah, so that is the whole rotation. And in terms of build. let me just take off my gear so you know. And my gear is not that fantastic as well. I mean, I'm sure you can get better artifact. I do sometimes I do run out of artifact that I want to put onto the hero. If you have something great, so you can use it. You don't have to follow all my artifacts. You probably by now know what to do. And so I think that's fine. So yeah, that's the build for those who are interested to know the absolute number instead of the stuff behind it. All right. So what I'll do, I want to show you Curse Terminal because a lot of you wanted to ask me about Curse, how he behaved like how a hero behaved like in Curse. So yeah, I mean, just take a look at that. And in terms of Omega system, maybe just go through that right now since I'm on it already. 10 point on spin tag, and as usual, I put just 80% cost effectiveness, give me 3 and 6 here. Just give a little bit of health regen. I got 13 points here for the crit and the brutal. I take this note as my plus 10 energy rather than the other one. So, that is pretty nice looks leading to it. And I dump remaining points here. That's about it. I dump remaining points here. I take this one for the brutal strike rating. And I dump points here. Don't need to follow if you don't have enough points. I dump points here as well because these are very nice points. 1 point just add it up there. So this is my favorite tree. 9 points here. My 80% cost effectiveness say so. 4 points here, and that's about it. That is the Omega system. All right. Now, just something to advise you. If you find that your Star-Lord is still very fragile, even after the gear that I'll show you later, do consider Blob. Because you can dump, it doesn't have any cost escalation. It gives you quite a big chunk of health as well as the defense as well. But you lose on dodge, yeah. But in this game, dodge is rubbish. So yeah, I think it's rubbish. I don't know. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. In terms of synergy wise, there's nothing much really to talk about. Basically, it's very much like the usual suspect on the energy and the range as much as possible. Some crit, some brutal, some crit damage if you have enough point to it, and screw girl for the versus boss, and that's about it. I still want to level my team up, so I pick this one. I don't know whether this one affect the team up or not because team up seems to level up so slow. I don't even know whether my synergy actually affect the team up or not. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll test it out. So yeah, so that's the build. In terms of my gear wise, let me just put back my gear. I use this pet because I'm leveling the. I'm still trying to level the pet. You can use this pet instead. It gives you the brutal damage +1 to all rank, +3 fighting, health and spirit. All right. My gear wise, let me just talk you through it. If you have Gem of Curse, use it. If you have Hand of Doom, use it. Depends on how much you love Star-Lord. I think the Metasensory is probably something that you should use. I think this is very nice as well because knowing how fragile Star-Lord can become, so the revive is quite useful, although it has a 10-minute cooldown. Medallion is Pyro, because it has both the crit and the damage component to it, so you net multiply the two, actually is much better than some other medallion, I think. But it depends on your role as well, yeah, because if your role is not that high, then maybe something else is better, like the some give you a range kind of fixes. All right. I picked crit damage rating because I think without Gungnir it doesn't really have a lot of crit damage rating, so I add on to him 250. I've got Industrial City Signet for him for the energy damage, so that is a pretty nice ring for Star-Lord. Although I don't really have nice artifact for him, but I mean this is actually nice in terms of the health to it, and it has a decent flat damage. That's about it. If, like I said, depending on how much you love him, there are quite a lot of options as well. Those that does range, power. You can use it here. This is like a poor man, Gem of the Curse. Cannot afford the other one, so I have this one instead. It's not that bad. It has the damage as well as the brutal side. Multiply the two, give you the damage. I use the Cosmic Control Rod. Now I'll show you some numbers later. Gungnir is actually better slightly, but knowing Star-Lord, I don't mind the the health regen as well as the spirit regen. All right, so I don't need the spirit for Star-Lord, but I need the health. So yeah, so that's about it. Gear wise, it's just I think a range enchant and a health enchant for the rest of it. And after that, the range enchant. That's about it. Yeah, so I've got quite a lot of health because I'm using this insignia to get his health up to 1665. I mean the health that you see there, every bit helps, man. I mean Star-Lord really need all the health that you can find. So yeah, so that's all. I think next bit I'm going to run him through Cosmic Curse, so you can take a look and judge by yourself, see whether he's your cup of tea or not. Alright, Star-Lord in the Cosmic Curse, and ammo up, and then fire. No, I start with fire, and maybe I should do a ground as well. Just don't worry about ammo, just spam them, man. That's what you should do. Alright, so always make sure you have ammo on. Fire from afar. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Air. Alright, so sometimes the air is a little bit hard to control, to be honest. I have more luck with the fire and the ground as well. Then okay, so that's ground. That lock everybody up. Alright, so that's cool. Okay, signature. Alright, done. Whoa, that hurts, yeah. Star-Lord. Okay, yeah, I mean I do love the characters a lot, you know. It's one of my favorite movies. Guardian of Galaxy. I miss it somehow. So yeah, it's taking a while. I don't know why. Oop. Okay, but it's okay. Sometimes I miss it. Air is if you get the air right, it's actually quite fun. It's like a ricochet of Psylocke kind of thing, but sometimes you just miss it. All right, so that's done, and let me just save someone here. One more. Okay, man, give me some birthday cake, please. Okay, so that is like a air. Okay, is there like a... Alright. Alright, so that's I'm ready for curse anytime from now. Going up to face the whoa, there's a whole chunk of them as well. So now let me see again. Okay, so that's curse. Ah man, let's do a back-to-back. I take out this one. Okay. Okay, I have to be careful. Run my rotation, and the other one is that air. Go. Yep. Blast. Just eat it. So yeah, I mean that is Star-Lord versus Curse. It's definitely not like the Doctor Doom that you've seen earlier, but then Doctor Doom I gear Doctor Doom really well as well. So I like I said, I believe that there's still a gap to close from Star-Lord's DPS wise to tune him up to at least closer to the top tier hero. I mean he's pretty good facing the dummy rotation, but I mean there's still quite a fair bit of tuning to do. Alright, so that is Curse. So that is all the clips I would like to share with you with regards to Star-Lord. I hope you have enjoyed, or at least get some inspiration or idea of how he plays like. And if you have any queries on Star-Lord, feel free to drop me a comment here on YouTube. I'll answer to you. I won't miss your question if you drop me a question in YouTube. But you can contact me in game as well. But sometimes when I'm recording, I close my chat, so I may miss your question. All right. So in closing, I think Star-Lord is he brings something special to the table. For those who are fan of Star-Lord, you really should try him out. And and it doesn't really have any spirit issue, so I love it. You know, I'm really tired of all this hero whereby I just have to keep using the med kit to recover spirit. So he is refreshing, but having said that, his rotation is really tedious. And because you've seen the power that I picked when it comes to the air, the whole rotation gets shorter. It kind of throws the whole thing off guard. It becomes less mechanical, which is good, right? Because that is what you want. But that will mean that you require a lot of skill in getting all the rotation right when it come to play in Star-Lord. And it really matters whether you delay your blast for 1 second to get certain things, or you have to bring those blasts out up front kind of thing. It does matter. So sometimes in Cosmic Patrol or Terminal perspective, you may miss certain things, but in raid maybe you can do a better job. Yeah, so that is all that I would like to say about Star-Lord. And the next bit is about the mathematics side of it, which some of you may wish to stay on, just to see why I pick certain power, or maybe you can take my numbers and say, well, I can build something else, right? So in terms of number wise, as always, I take down all the power at level 60, no gear, no Omega Point, and no hero synergy, no pets as well. I mean, no team up as well. Remove all team up gear. So these are number at raw that ignore these columns first, because this one I need to expand deeper on that. So the elemental itself has air, earth, fire, water. Each of them does certain things differently, and they also come with a different kind of DPS as well. All right, so that is you know, something I really kind of like don't quite understand is that you know, this is a range tag, while these are all range area. Why is this one the lowest of all? I don't know, because it hit 9 targets, I guess. So, but you know, wouldn't it make it an area? I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, this one hit multiple target, like the ricochet of Cyclops. I think I mentioned wrongly just now in Cursed Terminal, not Psylocke. Then you have the knockback effect from the earth, and then the water can freeze. But by and large, I mean, these are the number that you see. All right, you could go for the shot, but the shot consume lesser ammo, and you end up only having 2 layers. So you take your pick, right? So it's either, so I think 5. I mean, maybe these 2, I guess. But this 2 is not the highest. Although, yeah, it's kind of strange, right? Because usually when you have something called health regen and spirit regen, you take some penalty off the power, but then, you know, it actually is better than the other 2. Strange. So yeah, you may take fire and water, you know, because it's higher DPS. But like I said, I mean, if you pick these 2, you take a lot of time to consume your ammo, and you would like to rotate as many of these as possible, like 3 of them, because it gives you kind of like although DPS is a little bit tiny, but it layer on top of each other. So that's one idea to think about. And elemental shot, by the way, is kind of interesting because so these 2 actually add together. So when you look at DPS, always look at these 2 together, because you know, if you have ammo, you get extra. Otherwise, it consumes spirit to give you this only. So I mean, the DPS actually is like this, add together, like this, add together. So elemental is actually supposed to be pretty good. When it comes to the barrage, right, it's extremely hard to model. I actually spent quite a number of days to model it, but I think I get to somewhere to give you some number that kind of makes sense. So the air gives you an attack speed boost, which is 25%, but then you know attack speed has diminishing return, so it is never truly 25 plus the 14. It actually reduced to about 29, which is true, and that will buff the damage of this guy by you can think about it by 30%, around there. And the that's why I use the 30%, and after that, because if you use the air, the blast, you actually buff the air. So you know, you can buff 10%, buff 30%, but I can never get the 30% consistently. So I take it like 15%, just roughly there. So this is my DPS if I pick the air as a single spender, the element, the barrage. All right, and after that, earth is very straightforward. Basically, it is what it is. Just one. I don't need to do anything fancy. Fire is another one, really extremely hard. So I have to retime it myself, and to look into this how to model this whole thing, because you have the damage and twice per second for 5 seconds and so on. So but then after that, I noticed that because the fire the fire rotation is about 4 seconds. You can time it yourself. But then the damage over time actually lasts an extra 4 seconds. So what it means is that this whole damage layer actually get doubled, not just in the 4-second window that you do the barrage, but become 8 seconds. So I actually double this guy up to take into account of that. Water is water. I break it down into two. If you slow the target, you get this as your DPS. Otherwise, for boss that cannot be slowed, you get this. So in my analysis, I actually take a more conservative number, which is the lower one, because I can never assume that I can boss cannot be slowed. So yeah, that's it. So like the elemental shot for elemental barrage as well. If you don't have any ammo on, you still have a DPS on it, but with the demo you add on top of it. So what it means is that, let's forget about the elemental shot. I'm doing barrage here. So what it means is that if I layer everything together, whether I'm doing air, earth, fire, water, I'm getting roughly the similar range here, which is very encouraging, because I think that is what it means that my analysis is somewhat correct, and also the game design is somewhat there as well. This tool doesn't really require a lot of work. The fire would require a little bit of timing, because if you can do a blast at the correct time with the 5 stack, then you get more damage. I assume that you do that with the 5 stacks. So if you miss it, then of course this becomes lower. And same as for air as well, you have to make sure that you get your blast off the beginning, and after that, somewhere in the middle, try to blast again to buff that to 20%. So all in all, it doesn't matter which one you take. Of course, you don't add all this up. You actually take an average, because it's kind of like a layer on top in a very strange way. So because DPS of all this becomes so minute, so I don't really because by right these are all supposed to be layer, meaning that they add onto each other, the DPS, but this one's supposed to be average. But it's just for me to have an understanding on which rotation does what, and can I exploit the system in some way? The answer is probably not. Like I mentioned, the air and fire is something that I have to get. The earth and water is more like it depends on whether I which one I want to do crowd control. I can't take all 4. Right? Not enough hotbar, not enough power points. All right. So that's all I want to talk about. Then after that, of course, you can look into the empty the clips, which is the very traditional shooting kind of thingy. Between that and suppression fire, just pick the empty the clips. And then you can layer on top with all the granite. It does. I mean, this DPS range is roughly what I expect of for cooldown based power. So you could have this one, you could have that one as well. All right. So the close quarter, because of 15-second cooldown, I don't think it's a lot of I don't think it's really doesn't do a lot of damage. Of course, if you execute to it, this one get increased by 50% or 100%. That become a little bit different story. So they become quite a good layer. But you have to get really close to do that. I don't know, man. I'm not crazy over this. The DOT layer here is about 9k DPS. Also my expectation. This is my layer as well. The strife is the one that could potentially layer with that. But then I look at the power. Strife actually quite bad as well, because it's quite a long area. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I don't miss it. I'm not using it, so I don't miss it. So that's cool. So Starship is this back pedal, right? The Star-Lord will do a back pedal and it shoot, and it's just quite interesting to see this. It reminds me of Demon Hunter in Diablo 3. So yeah, but I don't think I can work this into my rotation anyway. But I thought it's really interesting to go shooting backward. And then this signature as always is never really good DPS. It's just it's there. But then because you have an uplink, so this one can increase a little bit. So yeah, these are all the numbers, just in case you're interested in it. As for legendary, this is one of the older version, but that it still hold. The idea still hold. So basically, I have the Star-Lord creep damage gear with 4 Hela. Then I run through a number. I think some of you have seen it thousands of times, so I'm not going to go through every single one of them again. So basically just take down all the number from score sheet, do some calculation, do not repeat damage rating and so on. So the overall score, if you look at average damage, actually it's pretty low. It's like a Doctor Strange kind of range for Star-Lord. So yeah, I mean, he needs to tune up, definitely. I mean, you look at this number, you know that this is not great. I mean, if you look at Doctor Doom, the number actually like 4-digit. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, man. They're still working towards making All Hero awesome. Let's trust on that. So if you look at this whole thing, just look at the score. Forget about all the rest. So the score-wise, you know, if you are in the grade 80, the Cosmic Control Rod is the one to go. Of course, always this always come up. The next best is the bow. So, but then again, why would you want to do that, right? So, but then again, I mean, this is one option, the bow. The bow and the Gungnir are actually quite close, within 1 second, 1% each other. You probably can't see any different. All right, don't forget about nullifier. And the reason why I picked the Cosmic Control Rod is that because the difference is only 1% between that and Gungnir, so yeah, I may as well do it. And I think the take-home message here is if you do not have the grade 80 legendary, you are basically lagging behind by 9%, which is quite a fair bit. Alright, so that is the take-home message. Long video, I know, but since I've spent so much time enjoying Star-Lord, I thought I'd give you all that I know to help you out here. Alright, so till the next time we meet each other, see you, goodbye.